So yeah, the longer ending of Mark is one of those topics that always fascinates me when textual transmission is concerned. Now, from a Catholic perspective, we do actually have a bit of a creedal bias because the longer ending of Mark is included in the Catholic lectionary as one of the gospel readings. And I think some Protestants that use the Revised Common Lectionary have it as part of their gospel reading for one Sunday as well. I'm not entirely sure about that. So my first question would be, given what you say, would it not be legitimate to, maybe use Mark in a liturgical setting, such as, reading it as part of worship service, and or B, like deriving theology from it? Like sometimes people might proof text the longer ending of Mark to make a theological point.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's taken from the other Gospels and Acts, and I don't think it theologically diverges from the New Testament. So, I mean, it is biblical material, even though it's not probably in the original text of Mark. My problem with it isn't using it theologically. My problem with it is trying to determine the theology of Mark's gospel by itself with that, because the climax of Mark's gospel is really the passion. That's the emphasis through the whole gospel. And this is kind of like an epilogue that doesn't fit the thrust of Mark's gospel so well. But it's true material. It's in the other gospels, especially Lucan material.
Now, my other question has to do with like trying to piece together how the longer ending might have possibly come to be where it is. Now, there's one theory that I've played around before. It's possible that perhaps, some books of the Bible could have been composed in more than one stage. So perhaps, Mark could have initially ended it in verse 8, and maybe at some subsequent point he penned the longer ending to go with the rest of the gospel that he wrote. And perhaps the time lapse between writing the original and the longer ending could account for the difference in style. What do you think of maybe that sort of explanation?
I mean, it would be possible, especially after persecution wasn't so much of an issue, and if the other gospels were in circulation saying, okay, well, if this is the way everybody wants to end their gospel, let me add in this. I don't think it's from Mark himself, but I do think it's, that's what somebody was doing, was saying this is an appropriate way to end the gospel.
Now, as a minor corollary to that, do you think Mark composed it himself, or did he use like a scribe or an amanuensis? Because if he used an amanuensis, you could also account for a difference in style from the use of a different amanuensis at a later point.
I think everybody used an amanuensis. I mean, if you were well-to-do, you dictated to a scribe. If you were poor and illiterate, you had to dictate to a scribe. So I think, but in terms of how much freedom the scribe had, I mean, I think Mark 1 through 16:8 is consistent in style mostly. And so, yeah, I think all of it comes from the same person ultimately.
Hey, if you enjoyed that video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the like button. And also consider supporting me on Patreon, patreon.com/Reason and Theology.